From aggressively smelling each other to Patsa suffering a bond fever and nearly dying. And then that hot scene at the end, please. Sup, y'all? It's Kiara, and episode 2 was absolutely insane. I mean, we're 5 minutes in, and one man is shirtless and looking scrumptious. Thank you for whoever was behind that. And another has a bat so large and so blinded my eyes stopped seeing for a second. It's the morning after the bite, and Nakun is briefly explaining how their pheromones were behind the bite. Now, that tidbit of information was not enough. Patsa does not understand the severity of the situation, so of course he'll treat it like it's a drunken mistake. That lack of detailed info didn't help Patsa understand that they really did need to stay together, and Nakun's possessiveness wasn't totally misplaced. I mentioned in episode 1 how they might be mates. If you haven't watched that episode, please go do that. And now that they've bonded, an alpha's need to protect and possess his mate only for himself would be really high. So I totally understand why he kept saying they needed to stay together. Also, this scene where Nakun lets out his pheromone and makes Patsa unable to control himself and like smell him so aggressively. Ugh, this scene. What are y'all doing? Seriously, what's going on here? But we move on. Patsa eventually did leave though, and Nakun was left behind to tell his family what he did. His father, that man was so angry he slapped him and caused Nakun to cry. Whether he cried because he bit a stranger or it's because of that slap, I'm glad his mother was there to be more understanding and console him. She also confirmed my suspicions of them being mates. I mean, I love it when I'm right. But we're going to take a second to appreciate how beautiful this woman is as well. Oh my goodness, how can she look like that with 3 grown kids? We're back home now, and this is where we find out that Pata is actually a pure Omega, which is the rarest kind of Omega. Him and Nakun could actually make Enigma babies. Y'all, what in the world is that? Please do educate me in the comments. This, though, is the beginning of his suffering from the consequences of separating from his mate. The bond fever. It makes him cold even when the temperature is relatively warm. He is losing his temper easily, and even the scent of his own brother disgusts him. Wattpad has taught me that the only thing that can help him now is to be within Nakun's presence and to have his scent with him, which is why he was smelling Nakun's hoodie and it calmed him down so much. Unfortunately, that didn't last long and he ended up getting into hate instead. Y'all, that genuinely broke my heart. He tried so hard to make the pain go away and he just couldn't. And that made me think of like how unfair it was. Why was he the only one suffering this much? To the point of nearly fainting and dying. No ways. Nakun should have had it just as bad as him. I will say Patsa really should have listened to his brother and Nakun when they said that they needed to stay together. But again, I understand why he didn't understand how serious the entire situation was. Obviously, until he got into hate. But thank goodness his mate found him. And although Nakun did end up making Ongsa suffer in the process, at least we got our first ever kiss from our definitely confirmed second couple. I do want more of that, so kind of excited to see where they go. Y'all, I thought the smelling and the desperation for like relief would have been the worst parts or the most shocking parts of this episode, but once these two were alone together, oh my god, it became freaky. Y'all, they were going feral. Face sucking, humping, the animalistic behavior. It was given desperate. Gosh, and like, y'all, what the hell was I watching? It was too crazy. But after what felt like forever, they were in bed and Nakun then demands that Patsa needs to move in with him. My poor baby is still so shocked and still so confused about his reality. He resists and, oh my god, why would you do that? Nakuna releases a pheromone that scares Patsa so much he ends up in tears. Why would you do that? Literally, I don't want to see that again. You promised us that my baby would not have to go through something like that again. I'm going to hold you to that. Let's not break my heart like that. But in the end, he does end up moving in. Obviously, Nakun's dad is not too happy about that. But Patsa does end up getting a job in Nakun's company. Y'all, this episode, oh my gosh, it shocked me so much, but it was so good. I do want more. But that's all, though. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please do come back. Do remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Have a wonderful rest of the day or night, and until next time.